Hey everybody, this is Tom from Rocket Restorations, and today we're going to feature a Dakota RT. And just to let everybody know, this one's going to be going up for the market real soon, so stay tuned to the end where I'll tell you how much we're going to ask for this beauty, and we'll kind of go from there. So for those of you familiar with my channel, I'm sure you probably know Jamie from Dodge Garage. If you don't know Jamie, I highly recommend you go over to his channel, check him out. This is a truck that he daily drove for a couple months last year, and I always told him I was looking for a Dakota RT. So again, if you know Jamie's channel, we basically traded this for the Ram truck that he built. He built that red Ram truck that he's been taking all around the country. We basically traded for that because I've wanted a Dakota RT for a while, and this kind of scratched my itch. So I kind of have a Mopar bucket list. There's certain cars that I've always wanted to own throughout my life, and this is on it. There's a few cars I'm still looking for on my list. I've never owned a Little Red Express, never owned a Warlock, a Dude truck. There's a few other Mopars I've never owned, like a Hang 10 Dart. There's a few others I've never owned that are on my list. And Dakota RT was always on my list. I've always heard that these were really fun cars, really fun to drive. They're a blast. They're, biggest engine and the lightest body. I think it's a really good combo. So, and I finally got one, but I don't know. This isn't exactly a case of don't meet your heroes, but it is a case of I just haven't driven this thing. It needs work. It needs a bunch of little stuff. I'll get into all of that here, but I just honestly haven't had time to work on it. That crew cab over there is going to get a Cummins swap from that red truck here pretty soon. Stay tuned for that on the channel. And I'm just going to put some effort into that. And this just kind of just needs to go away at this point. I haven't driven it in a month, and if something doesn't drive here for a month, it just goes away. But let me go a little background on what a Dakota RT is. See? RT, Dakota RT. So these came out in 1998 and follows the similar, RT formula for Chrysler. You put a big engine in another chassis and you go and have a lot of fun with it. So the 5.9 Magnum was the biggest, most powerful engine they had at the time, and they decided to stuff these into a Dakota RT. There's lots of 318s going into Dakotas in this era. Obviously, Carroll Shelby did that in 1989 with the previous Dakota chassis, but this is just a real well-balanced ride. It's a really good combo. So they got 17-inch rims when nothing else had that at the time. Obviously the Dakota RT badges, the 5.9 RT on the door, and they put a RT on the tail panel back here. That's one way, and they lowered the suspension way down on these. In fact, what's really funny is when these first came out, I think they said the towing rating was like 4,000 or 4,500 pounds, which was that on the regular Dakota. But these things were so lowered and so modified. I think some people had some problems initially trying to tow with these things, and it just didn't work. So they actually had to send out a notice to customers, like a warranty recall on these, to basically say like, hey, don't tow with these things. It's a really bad idea. So the towing rating in this is only 1,000 pounds. They actually don't carry that much in the bed either. But honestly, that's not the point of this truck. This is one of the best handling trucks, in my opinion, ever made. I mean, most of the modern packages like this are all made for off-road. The Raptor, the T-Rex from Dodge, or the Hellcat power. There's lots of other trucks that have tons of power, but the ride and handling and power package of this really just isn't matched. So this one's a 1998. It's the first year. It's actually a really rare color. They only made 60 in this color in 1998, which is pretty rare. Production for the Dakota RT was 1998 to 2003. And again, I just always kind of wanted one of these, and I still want one. I just want a little bit nicer one. Let me go on a little background of this one. So Jamie found this in Aberdeen. A friend of his had it out on the Washington coast, and unfortunately it wasn't a front end accident at some point. It wasn't a serious wreck, but it was enough where the front sheet metal was changed and a few other things. The dash has been changed out on this. So the dash says 272,000 miles right now. That's because it's a different dash, because I think the speedo didn't work, or the fuel gauge. I don't know. Jamie's got a video on this. You should definitely go watch that, because he goes through a lot of this stuff. Obviously it's got an aftermarket steering wheel on it. This is club cab. You can get them in club cab or regular cab. It's got the caps, the wheels back there, and a bunch of other stuff. It has the stock wheel flares in the right color. I have the right steering wheel for it. We also have another nice bonus here I'll show you in a second. It's kind of eerie out here. The sun's just going down, and we got like 2 inches of rain yesterday. We got a ton of rain yesterday, but it's kind of cool when it gets cold. It starts getting like steamy in the field. It's almost like Halloweenish. Back to the Dakota. So Jamie had this Durango It's a V8, which is basically the same truck. Durango and Dakota built on the same chassis. So this has a bunch of the little pieces it needs. The AC condenser got smashed on the Dakota RT, so it needs that. It needs some of the splash shields on the front, and you are welcome to those parts off this. You can't have the whole rig. Jamie needs it for something else, but all the parts that RT needs will be included with the truck when it sells. It also makes a really nice caddy. A lot of times, this is our main shop where we do most of our restoration work. That's mostly car storage and parts over there. And this makes a really nice caddy for that. Just throw a few parts out back and in the bed, I mean, and then drive over there. So I don't have to carry them all over there individually. It's actually not raining today. The powered by crap and the dead Dodge garage sticker, free of charge. And of course, here's the heart of the beast. These are 250 horsepower. 5.9 Magnum. This was the kind of the top of the line Magnum at the time. This is the most horsepower you get on one of these. They did a few things to them to pull a few more horsepower out of them, and it's pretty good shape underneath here. As you can see, the condenser's gone. Most of the rest of the AC stuff's there, but it does need a new condenser to get the AC working on it. I got a brand new battery in it. Just bought that. 3 of 24. Yeah, I think it's out on the shelf at Costco. It's a couple months old. Pretty much new battery. Starts it right up. The tranny's a little slow when it first starts up. And I think maybe that caliper over there is starting to get a little seized. It got a little hot last time I drove it. So this thing is not exactly 100% plug and play, but it's a really solid truck that just needs a few things to get perfect, you know. These Magnum motors, I don't really have a lot of experience with these. Jamie loves these things. These make great swaps into muscle cars. These Magnum motors just flow really well. They have factory fuel injection. Like if you want to run a fuel injection car, this is what you do. Get a factory system with a computer that you can get codes off of. You run those sniper systems, and it's so hard to diagnose them. You know, it's just somebody making that in the back of a company. You know, I know Holley sells a lot of them, but Chrysler sold literally millions of these engines. They have the fuel injection on these is very well worked out and very sorted. So obviously it needs a few pieces up here. Probably needs the front end painted. It has the typical Chrysler clear coat on it. This is Deep Amethyst paint. The flare's a little bit different. The bumper's a little bit different. And then obviously that fender's a different color. But I've got some pieces to fix that stuff. Maybe not all of it, but most of it. Interior's fairly nice. Jamie swapped in these buckets. They had some aftermarket ones in. Not a big fan of the steering wheel, but we have a stock one. It's not too bad. It has an aftermarket radio in it with Bluetooth. It's got LED gauges. Yeah, that's my tie strap. I took this a dump a few times to dump oil off. Unfortunately, these do not have the rear opening doors, but you know, for the interior, if you have a second gen Ram Cummins, which I've had a few of those, this is kind of like that interior, but like mini-me a little bit. I don't know how else to describe it. It's basically the same, but like everything's a bit smaller. The headlander's fallen down, which is, you know, typical of all these. That's the original gauge cluster there, the original miles on it. There's a few more pieces in there. There's an extra console, so there's a few goodies in here to get the truck back up to snuff. Boy, that fog's really rolling in now, huh? So I know what you're all thinking. You want to hear it run? Sure, let's start her up. All right, here we go. Starts right up. Sounds good too. I'm not actually sure what the exhaust is on this, but it's not bad. We also have some Scots. Again, this thing is not perfect by any shape of the, I don't know. I can't think of the words right now. Any imagination? Shape of the imagination? I don't know. We'll let that right there. But, I don't know. I've seen a lot worse. There's no major rust on it. You know, it's not a salt truck. It's been in Washington most of its life, I believe. So, all right. Let me take it for a spin. Just the defroster worked a little bit better. Radio's annoying, too. There we go. All right. Let's go for a quick little test drive. Just take it around the yard for a minute. Okay, this is what I get for trying to film on the one dry day in 2 weeks. The window just fogs up on me. Yay! Alright, let's do a little test drive on this test loop that is in no way 2 days later than when I said I was going to do a test drive because the windows are fogged up. I love this little route. Let's see if it's flooded. This was flooded 2 days ago. Ooh, still water over the road. Yeah, I wouldn't be fording any tall creeks in this thing, but the right lane's open. That's a lot of water. I just saw a beaver go across the road here one time. All right, back to the truck. Overdrive's always a little sluggish on the first start of the morning. I don't know why. It's pretty wet. I don't want to get on it too hard, but yeah, it goes pretty good. Steering wheel's a little, it's pretty centered. This is my little test loop over here where I go like to take pictures and stuff. I don't know, ride's a little bumpy, but it's a lower truck made for handling, you know. Wow, the river's really high here. So this is the Black River. I think it's a Black River. But yeah, we had a lot of rain last couple days, so it's pretty high right now. But it's kind of fun to see when it's up this high. Like when it's down at its normal level in the summer, you can get about 50 feet closer to the river there. Turn signal switch does not cancel, which is annoying. I'm assuming with the original steering wheel that will be fixed. Window goes up. There's a lot of water out there. This is the elk viewing area over here. I always like to do test drives. It's not wanting to shift into overdrive this morning. No, it's a little grumpy when it's cold. I'm a little grumpy when I'm cold too. You know, I swear that was a half a tank when I took it out for a test drive the other day. Stopped at my favorite picture stop, and there's a few elk out today. Hard to tell how many of them. They're on the far side of the field. This is a wildlife refuge place here, so they're safe here. Though I think hunting season ended last week, I think. At least that's what my father-in-law told me. They put up those signboards the other day, but they never put anything on them. Why is this thing yelling at me? I think it was the airbag warning. Alright, that's neutral. Helps if I actually put it in the drive. Yeah, sorry, it's kind of hard to see out the windshield. But it is what it is. But yeah, truck drive's good. Just, you know, 90s things. Keeps on yelling at me. Check engine light is for the replacement dash. And that's what the no bus means as well, because this is not the factory dash of the car. But as I said, obviously we have that. I love taking this corner, 10 miles an hour. The only problem is there's a giant ditch on the other side, so you, yeah, you want to be careful going through that. But with this truck, no problem. Oh, I forgot to mention, for some reason this sway bar is loose on the front end. Alright, I'm going to go through this one-lane road because of water, and hopefully someone isn't coming the other way. Whee! Oh yeah, no splash shields on the front. I probably shouldn't hit that water that tough. Hit the water that tough? What does that even mean? Hit the water in hydroplane? I don't even know. Alright, and now for the most important question. Will it do a burnout? These things actually have, I believe, 391 gears and a sugar grip, or limited slip, or posi, whatever you want to call it. Let's find out. That was pretty good, wasn't it? So, to answer your question, yes, it will do a burnout. Even with parts in the back. Ballast from our weight, right? All right, well, there you go. 1998 Dodge Dakota RT pickup. This thing is so much fun. I mean, I know it needs work, but these things are just an absolute blast to drive. I mean, the only real downside of these things is the fuel mileage is horrendous. I've never even calculated it because I don't even want to know, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, this thing's a ton of fun. We're going to be asking $3,500 for this. I don't usually put the price in the video because it just becomes stale after a week. If somebody watches this a year from now, they're going to be like, hey, I want your Dakota for that, but whatever. It is what it is. $3,500. I'll put it in the comments as well. I wouldn't really be afraid to drive this pretty much anywhere. It probably needs that front caliper before that can happen. It's also the middle of winter in a two-wheel drive pickup truck. We are located in Olympia, Washington. I can help ship you anywhere around the country, and it's way cheaper than you think it's going to be. We just shipped a 1985 Chrysler LeBaron from Olympia to New York on an open transport, and it was $1,400 to transport. Obviously, if you're closer than 3,000 miles away, it will be absolutely less. So let me know what you guys think about this truck. I really like this thing, but I just don't really have the time right now to put in the love this thing really needs. So it needs to go to another home. Hopefully someone can love this thing and get it to where it needs to be. So, all right, well, this is Tom from Rocket Restorations. Appreciate everybody from watching. We'll talk to you soon. And now it's time to unload my shopping cart. And if you want to see something really entertaining, is Jamie trying to find a set of Hemi headers we lost 2 years ago. We have no idea where they went.
I sliced open my thumb!
I don't know what he's complaining about.